Does the breast screening program actually work? Do mammograms really save lives? Today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about breast screening. And if you've still got a question about it at the end of the video, send me a comment and I'll get back to you. If you've not watched one of my videos before, hi, I'm Dr. Liz Reardon. I'm a breast surgeon who's had breast cancer 3 times, so I know what I'm talking about. And I do the research so you don't have to. So let's talk about breast screening. Why do we do it? Well, the aim of a national screening programme is to test a large group of people who are at risk of getting a disease, in this case, breast cancer. The test has to be accurate, meaning that it picks up most of the cancers at an early stage when they're too small to see and feel, and it also has to be able to rule out normal breast changes like cysts. There also has to be a successful treatment that saves lives, so if breast cancer is found at an early stage, for example, ductal carcinoma in situ when the cells can't spread around the body, or a small cancer less than 1 centimetre in size. For breast cancer, it means that fewer women will die from breast cancer if their cancers are found before they form a lump. However, breast screening cannot stop you getting breast cancer. Are there any other pros of breast cancer screening? Yes, there are. If breast cancers are caught at an early stage, you are less likely to need a mastectomy or chemotherapy. What about the cons? Mammograms aren't 100% accurate. If you have dense breasts, meaning you have more glandular tissue than fatty tissue, a mammogram might miss a small cancer. Lobular cancers, a type of breast cancer that grows in sheets and not clumps, can also be very hard to see on a mammogram. Some women will be called back for an abnormal area that needs further tests and possibly even a biopsy for something that ends up being completely normal. And if that happens to you, you've got the mental anxiety and stress of waiting for results, as well as needing unnecessary tests and biopsies. And finally, some women will be diagnosed and treated for a breast cancer that would never have caused them harm. That means that if their cancer wasn't found and wasn't treated, they would go on to die from old age or something else and not breast cancer. This is called overdiagnosis. Now, at the moment, we have no way of knowing which breast cancers can safely be treated, which is why we offer everybody surgery. But there are trials looking at older women with DCIS to see if we can monitor them with regular scans instead of screening and see what happens in the future. How many breast cancers does the screening programme find? Now, this is UK data, but it's the same for most countries. So let's take 100 women who all have a screening mammogram. Of these 100, 96 are going to have a normal mammogram. 4 of them are going to have an abnormal mammogram. And all those 4 may be called back for extra tests or biopsies. And of these 4, 1 of them will have breast cancer. So that means for every 100 women screened, 96 will have a normal mammogram, 3 will have an abnormal mammogram, but biopsies and scans will be normal, and 1 will have breast cancer. How many lives does the breast screening programme save? So again, this is from UK data. This time we're going to take a group of 200 women. For every 200 women who are screened from the age of 50 to 70, 1 woman's life will be saved. So if every woman in the UK gets her mammogram screening, we will save 1,300 lives a year. But of these 200 women, 3 will be diagnosed with a breast cancer that would never have gone on to cause harm in the first place. So that means 200 women screened, 1 life saved, 3 women diagnosed with a breast cancer that didn't need to be treated. So how do you decide whether to go for breast screening? It is your choice whether you go or not, and there's no right or wrong answer, but I want you to make it for the right reasons, by trusting the information that your breast screening department sends you or the information they have on the website about the pros and cons. Everything they send you will be evidence-based and accurate. The same can't be said for videos online, where there are people scaring you, saying that mammograms don't work, getting you to pay for thermograms so there's no evidence for them, telling you they're dangerous. When they don't back those statements up with clear, hard evidence, you need to ask, where is the proof? Don't be influenced by an influencer trying to sell you something. When does breast screening start? Well, in the UK and most of Europe, you're called for your first mammogram within 3 years of your 50th birthday, and you have a scan every 3 years until you reach 70. You can then self-refer every 3 years if you'd still like to have a mammogram. In America, The United States Preventative Services Task Force in 2023 recommended that all women get screened for breast cancer from the age of 40 every 2 years. If your mammogram was normal, do you still need to check your breasts? Yes, you do. Some cancers are not big enough to be seen on your mammogram, but in the months or years between your scans, they may grow and form a lump. These are called interval breast cancers, and that's why it's really important that you continue checking your breasts every month. Are mammograms dangerous? Now, you might have heard from idiots online that the radiation from screening mammograms causes cancer, that they're dangerous and you shouldn't have them. Is any of that true? Well, partly. Radiation can cause cancer, and generally this happens at a very high dose, which is called 50 millisieverts. Having a mammogram exposes you to a very low dose of radiation, about 6 millisieverts. That's 10 times lower than a CT scan of your chest. It's the same amount of radiation that you get just from living in your natural environment for a couple of months. The radiation comes from things like the sun and the soil. If you attend all your mammograms from the age of 50 to 70, your risk of getting a mammogram-induced breast cancer is 1 in 10,000 women. That's 0.01%. Whilst your risk of getting breast cancer when you're 70 is 1 in 25 women, or 4%. That means that screening mammograms increase your risk of getting breast cancer from 4% to 4.001%. It's a tiny increase and you don't need to worry about it. We wouldn't recommend global breast screening if it wasn't safe. The life-saving benefit of mammograms is 300 times higher than the risk of getting a radiation-induced breast cancer. And if you are worried about getting breast cancer, remember there are things you can do to reduce the risk of that happening, like exercising, eating a healthy plant-based diet, and cutting back on alcohol, and they all have a much greater impact than avoiding mammograms. I hope that's answered all your questions about mammograms and breast screening. If you've got any more, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'm Dr. Liz O'Riordan, and thanks for watching.